Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Your Time to Shine, a radio show designed to help you explore your own divine gifts. How are you doing tonight, everybody? We just went through another full moon, and I have had emotions all over the board, from being sad to being grumpy to being happy. It's been really crazy for me this week, but I think we're finally starting to settle out on this new moon or this full moon energy, rather. So I hope tonight finds you all well. So thank you for tuning in tonight on Moonstruck TV and A1R Psychic Radio. So I want to talk to you a little bit about the act of receiving. We all receive in some type of way. We receive every single day. And the type of receiving that I am talking about is when someone gives you a compliment. So when someone gives you a compliment, what do you do? Do you say, "Oh, great, thank you, I really appreciate it"? Or do you go, "Oh, well, I don't know, I just feel like I'm not looking my best today, my hair isn't quite right, Do you go into all these excuses, or do you just simply say, "Thank you"? That act of receiving, the art of receiving, can be very hard and very challenging for many people. Especially, I will say, I'm one that I'm still working on this ability to be able to receive. So one of the things that I found very interesting, I was listening to a friend of mine. He does these regular Facebook Lives, and he's a very spiritual person. And he was hiking in the snow in the wilderness, and he dropped his phone. And he was some distance away before he figured out that he had dropped his phone. So he did what his grandmother had always taught him and called in a guide, a higher being, so to speak, to help him find his lost phone. So he went back and he searched and he looked for it. And he said he was about ready to give up when some other hikers came out of the woods, and he asked if they would help find his phone. And within less than 5 minutes, somebody had found the phone, and it was still working. He tried to pay the person who found the phone, and they kindly declined the offering. And one of the things that went through his mind is he kind of felt bad, because here he had been given a gift to receive, and he took it. But then when he tried to reciprocate, the offer was declined. And so sometimes that happens to us, right? Someone does something nice for us, or we are open to receiving something that they give us, and we want to reciprocate in some way. A lot of times we try to reciprocate with monetary means, with money. And sometimes that doesn't always feel right with the person who is on the other end of that receiving. So what he did, I thought was really great, really interesting, is he went back home, and he ended up shoveling snow off his elderly neighbor's driveway. And from that neighbor, he went to another, and so on. And that was his way of kind of giving back to the universe, giving back to somebody in another way, so paying it forward. And so I stopped and thought about that for a while, and I thought, wow, what a great thing. Because if the person that we're trying to give something to is not open to receiving at that moment, and whatever that receiving is, he just took it and he paid it forward in order to give back, and kind of balance that giving and that receiving, which, as you know, our universe, our world that we live in, is all about the balance. So the balance of giving and receiving. So if you've ever come across something like that, and you want to give back, and somebody that you want to give back to isn't open to that receiving, what else can you do to feel like you're contributing, to feel like you're giving back? So, like my friend did, he gave back to somebody else who might not be able to do something for themselves. And that made him feel worthwhile, feel worthy, feel like he was doing something to give back. So there's all kinds of ways that we can do to give back and to receive, or I should say for others to receive. So, just remember that monetary means isn't always the way to show appreciation. There's many other ways of showing appreciation. A thank you, a handshake, a hug, a pay it forward, right? Asking if you can do something for that person later on down the road. There's many, many ways that you can do that and get that balance of giving and receiving. But the biggest thing is that you have to be open to receiving in the first place. So had my friend not been open to receiving the help and the guidance that he was given, he may not have been able to find his phone. So you need to be able to drop your barriers. A good way to do that is say barriers down. Barriers down, and that will drop your barrier and allow you to be able and open to receive. So again, receiving something that's very, very hard, something that you might need to have to practice in order to really be able to openly receive. But something that is very gratifying, actually, when you can actually sit down and be fully aware and open to receiving. So hopefully that was some helpful tips for you coming up in the weeks ahead. Something to think about. But right now, we are going to go to the phone lines. We've got Donna in Hillsboro, Ohio. Good evening, Donna. Welcome to Your Time to Shine.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good, and you?
Great, thank you. What can we do for you tonight?
I can't hear you.
Oh, I said, what can we do for you this evening?
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess my question is, what am I to do next?
Okay. All right, so hang on. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just explaining it. Go ahead. Thank you.
Feel free to explain if you would like to.
Well, I had many back surgeries, and I guess I'm trying to figure out where I'm supposed to go next. I have been learning Reiki, but I'm not sure where I'm at.
Okay. So sounds like it's a little bit of a two-part question there. So let me take a moment to check in with Spirit. You're going to hear just a little bit of silence as I kind of check in here. But don't worry, I haven't gone anywhere, and I'll be right back with you, okay?
Thank you.
So, so I have the presence of a female that has come in. I feel like that she might be a mother or a mother figure. She's she's shaking her head and saying, yes, you are on the right path with Reiki. She's saying that future surgeries aren't going to aren't really going to do you well. She's saying that you need to take a more holistic approach. She's saying that the Reiki is going to really help with that. Hang on just a minute. She's showing me something else. Okay. She's showing me some other types of she's showing me other types of healing that would benefit you from a spiritual standpoint. She's saying things like, I don't know if you've ever heard of bars or access consciousness, but she's saying that if you can find a practitioner for that, that would be really good. She's saying essential oils is really going to help with you and help with some of the pain. She's saying sandalwood. She's saying sandalwood would really help with your situation. But she's saying stay with the Reiki. That's going to help. There's other energy works out there. There's different things like NET. I don't know if you've heard of that. But just different types of energy type work, because what's happening with your back. Okay, thank you. Okay, so she's showing me that you have some blocked chakras, and so that's causing you the pain in your back. Like your root chakra is out of alignment. Reiki can help with that. Also, some of these other energy clearings can help align and balance some of those things. But there's definitely some things in your root chakra. The root chakra is basically where we hold all of our stability in our lives. That's like financial, relationships, family, that type of thing. So when our energies are blocked in our root chakra, then we start having pain in our body associated with the root chakra, like in the back, especially the lower back.
Okay. That makes sense.
She's also showing me that so in the chakra system, she's showing me the solar plex chakra. So that's like the third chakra from the base. So you're feeling a lot more pain, like just below center of your back, right?
Correct.
Okay, so the solar plexes are all about relationships, right? So clearing that out as well will help with that as well.
Okay.
She's asking me, have you had an MRI?
Yes.
Is it showing up anymore with like bulging disc or slip disc or anything like that?
Yes.
Okay.
I have two.
Okay. Um, she's saying that physical therapy will help too.
Okay.
At this point, it doesn't seem like surgery will be necessary. So she's saying that maybe look into physical therapy, trying that first and seeing if that can correct it. I know sometimes it can. And so she's recommending to try that first before you try the surgery aspect of it.
Okay.
Yeah, she's not showing me anything else. So was there any other questions that you had this evening, or?
I guess I'm trying to figure out what my career path or purpose is.
Okay, so she's showing me like like the sands of time. You flip it over, you flip it upside down, and it starts to trickle down, and it starts going all over again. So you're actually looking at kind of a reset, what she says,
Okay.
of things. She says your heart is just not in this job. It's just not. You've kind of lost all your passion for it. And she's saying that there's some big changes coming for you, and that you should embrace those changes.
Okay.
She's showing me that you don't like change. So this could be really, really difficult for you. But she's showing me that something's going to be coming your way, coming up, and you should really take a hard look at it.
Okay. I sure will.
She's telling me, don't let your conscious mind get in the way. Open up your heart and find out if this is going to be for you.
Okay. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you for tuning in to Your Time to Shine this evening. Have a great evening.
You too. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next, we have Sandra in California. Hello, Sandra. Sandra, are you there? Oh, we'll try to get back. We'll try to get back to Sandra. So one of the things that I want to talk about just real quickly until Sandra comes back onto the line is going back to that giving and receiving, and how it's so hard for us to be in that receiving mode. It's also about change, right? It's also about changing how you look at things, changing how you feel about open receiving. And that's the biggest thing with receiving, is being open and opening your heart, getting out of your head and opening your heart. So when you're looking at the art of receiving, then, you have to get out of your head and then get into your heart. It's one of the biggest things that you need to do. On that note, Sandra in California.
Yes.
Hi, Sandra. How are you?
Hi. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. What can we do for you tonight?
I just had a question. I'm kind of like nervous, but just I'm just a general question like of my current situation that I'm going through and decision making, basically.
Okay, I'm sorry. Your current situation of
What's in regards to like relationship wise?
okay, thank you. Excuse me, I didn't quite understand if it was career or if it was a relationship. Oh, excuse me. Okay, one moment. Let me check in here to what your loved ones are saying. And so might be a little minute of silence here, but I'll be right back with you, okay?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so one of the things that your loved ones are showing me is that your relationship has been really going down kind of a rocky road for quite some time.
Yes.
That you feel like it's not really going anywhere or even going in the direction that you thought that it might. I feel like the two of you are kind of on two separate planes. What I mean by planes is on different levels, I guess. So you're not really seeing the same things you used to, right? You used to see everything
Correct.
on kind of the same plane, but you guys are shifting and changing.
Yeah.
Emotionally, spiritually, and so because of it, one of you is growing a little bit faster than the other, and possibly outgrowing each other a little bit.
Yeah.
I see that you have a really good relationship, but what it's being based off of is different now than when you started it. And I'm feeling like there is I'm trying to think of the word of what they're showing me here. There's like a fork in the road right now, right? You're at this fork and you're kind of looking down and you're trying to figure out which direction to go.
Yes.
And what they're saying is open up your heart and get out of your head. It's kind of like what I was talking about just before you came on, about being able to receive, right? Being able to receive gifts and acknowledgement. And so what they're saying is get out of your head and into your heart. And you really know what the answer is. You already know what your answer is and what you need to do. It just needs to be spoken out loud. They're showing me that, once you do this, it's going to feel like a huge weight is lifted because the other person is feeling it, but they don't know exactly. They know there's a shift, there's a change, but they don't understand it. They don't know what to make of it or what to think of it. And so as you speak it and talk it, then they're going to say, okay, I get it. Yeah. I see you two just you're just two completely different people than you were when you first started out.
Yeah, we went from being totally best friends to like now not even. He already, we're divorced now. He's having the kid with somebody else, with the woman that he basically cheated on me with, and I'm just like not knowing what to do. Or
Well, that's a really hard one. What happened, is that you two just you grew apart. There was, I feel like you're growing and maturing and spiritually and emotionally, and he's not. And it is hard to be in a relationship when there's that disparity, right?
Correct.
And it doesn't make it feel any better or hurt any less. And I get that. But you're going to be attracting somebody else that is going to be on the same playing field as you are. And when you look back on it, you're going to go, oh my gosh, it was a gift that this happened. It was really a gift, because it's going to give you a chance to start over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It will be a very beautiful thing. Yeah, it will be.
Thank you. I greatly appreciate it.
You are so welcome, Sandra. Best of luck. Keep your heart open.
I will. Thank you.
Okay, good night.
All right. Good night.
Well, that does it for us this evening, down to the last little bit of our show here on Your Time to Shine. Thank you so very much for tuning in this evening. I hope you found all the information that I had to say about giving and receiving very helpful. Thank you to all the callers that called in, and all the listeners and the viewers. You are listening to A1R Psychic Radio and Moonstruck TV, Your Time to Shine. You can catch me over on our Facebook page at Your Time to Shine, or you can catch me on my website at www.wingsofsoulswithjulie.com. And coming very soon, I'll have my own Facebook page of Wings of Souls. Until next week, good night, everyone.